So we will formally start the webinar. Thank you everyone for joining us today. We are happy to bring to you the 15th webinar of Energy Evaluation Asia Pacific, focusing on evaluation of energy programs and policies in Asia, where we bring to you insights focusing more on China and Indonesia. So we have two keynote speakers representing each of the countries. My name is Nazir. I'm your host for today's webinar and serving as a coordinator with Energy Evaluation Asia Pacific, which is a vibrant community of energy and evaluation professionals across the Asia Pacific region. Before we, may I ask you to kindly mute yourself if, please, thank you. Before going to the webinar, I would like to quickly share with you some of the ground rules. First of all, as I shared, this session is being recorded. And by attending and participating in this webinar, we assume that you give us your consent for this to happen. I would like to request you to kindly keep your microphones muted when you are not speaking. We will have a question and answer session at the end where we will also allow our audience to unmute themselves and ask questions. You can switch on your cameras for better engagement. And we have the chat box option where you can put your questions and comments, feedbacks directly there. The speakers will respond to the questions there, or they may also take the questions later when we have the question and answer sessions. We will be sharing with you a short survey form. We'll be happy to get your feedback at the end of the session. And this session will be uploaded on Energy Evaluation's YouTube channel and as well as on our website. But we will also be sharing with you the session notes through email and also under the resources section of our website. Sharing with you the quick agenda for today's webinar. We will start with welcome remarks from Edward Wine, who is the member of Steering Committee of Energy Evaluation Asia Pacific. Then we will have presentations from two keynote speakers, Brari Bangan, who will be speaking on energy projects evaluation for underprivileged community in Bunaken Island, Manado, and then Martin Pink, who is Secretary General of Chongqing Renewable Energy Society. He will speak on China's green factory construction programs and how they are promoting energy efficiency. Then we will have a quick discussions towards the end, and we will conclude with word of thanks from Edward Wine again. So without further ado, let me hand it over to Edward Wine, who is member of Steering Committee of Energy Evaluation Asia Pacific, for sharing welcome remarks and providing the context to the webinar. Ed, over to you.
Thank you, Nazir. So let me first wish you all a great 2025. This is our first webinar for this year. We have several more coming up, and we're excited to have a great year this year for EEAP. And I know many of you are familiar with them, but I want to mention who we are, our mission, and our activities. So we're a not-for-profit established in 2018, and it's modeled after the evaluation organizations in the US, EEAP, which is still going on. They had their first conference in 1983. And then international, we have one, and now it's called Energy Evaluation Europe, and that's been going on for 15 years, since 2010. And for EEAP, we try to develop a community to strengthen and support the evaluation of energy policy and programs in the Asia Pacific region. Our mission is to take a leadership role in expanding the practice of and capacity for what we call objective evaluation of both energy efficiency and renewable energy programs and policies. So we try to bring people together through things like this, a webinar, developing this network, not only practitioners, but stakeholders too, who are interested in evaluation, and sharing information and skills in conducting evaluation through hopefully more conferences and training sessions at a conference. So we are organizing a conference in July of this year. It'll be in Indonesia. We're working out the details. So stay tuned for that. We also, as Nazir mentioned, we have a feedback form we'd like you to fill out, and he'll mention that again as well. And then he's already mentioned the speakers we have. And I think without further ado, I'm going to stop sharing. And then, Rui, you can start sharing, but I will mention a few words about Rui. He works at Manado city government in Indonesia, and he's been really focusing on sustainable city development over 12 years in strategic planning and public infrastructure projects. He's a senior urban planner, and he's been involved in lots of projects improving urban spaces, community facilities, and renewable energy utilizations. And he works with stakeholders very closely to balance their environmental considerations, economic growth, and social needs. As you can tell, he's really passionate about sustainable urban development. And I will hand it over to Brui. You can start your slides and your presentation. And you have about 15 minutes, and I'll give you a little warning about that a few minutes before. So Brui, go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you for having me, Edward and Nazir. I will be very quick as you give me 15 minutes. So I will be talking about energy project evaluation for underprivileged community in Bunaken Island, Manado. Actually, this is the plan. This is the plan. So the title is a bit misleading here, but I will tell you more about it as we go. So next. Oh. Oh. Can you see my presentation now?
Yes, we are in the next slide.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's Manado. Manado. Manado is far from the US, but you can see that Manado is closer to the Philippines than the other part of the Indonesia, and these are the SDG 7 targets, as we know. Just give it, and this one also. This is important. I must tell you that Indonesia, and the national level, we have the National Energy General Plan. And they said that by 2025, we aim to use renewable energy up to 25%. And then comes down to the province level, we aim to use 38% of renewable energy, which is good, we have the plan. However, in the municipality level, Manado City targets, we don't really have. Just recently, like last year, from the help of APSEC, Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation on Sustainable Energy Center, Tianjin, China, helped us with a multi-stakeholders dialogue to set the targets for each regencies and municipality. But that guidelines is already available, but not having taken place yet. But hopefully this year it will be rectified by all the regencies and the municipality. Ladies and gentlemen, this presentation is not actually targeted, at the first place for the energy sectors. Based on the problem in Manado City, we actually have waste problem that we need to tackle. There are 106,000 of waste produced by the city, yearly. That is the most important issue. We actually try to solve this one, not the energy sector actually. And then we come. We also know that on survey that almost half of the city waste is food organic waste that need to be tackled. And then we come with the innovative ideas of using this biodigester. So this biodigester it can produce methane to as a replace for fuel from a fossil fuel, and then also can solve part of the organic waste problem in Manado City. Okay, this is the well. This is the output of this one biodigester. So arguably, it can reduce up to 3,000 CO2 equivalent, and then reduce the use by 50% of one household if we use these biodigesters. Continue to the okay. This is the biodigester distribution map in our city. But initially, it's been 5 years maybe. We installed every year average on 10 biodigesters every year. Yeah, we put in the mainland. If you can see, the right hand side is the mainland of Manado City, and up to the north is the Bunaken Island. The Bunaken Island is one of the best marine park in Indonesia. Okay, just skip this one. See, we install them. We install every year. Okay, except in Bunaken. Yeah, we haven't done in Bunaken yet. So after these years, we conduct a survey, evaluation survey about the effectiveness of these biodigesters for the people. And we take the respondents, comprises of 70% males and 27% head of households are females. And the age distribution is more than 47% are 55 years old and more. So it means whether they are pensioned or they are old. Their occupations is dominated by self-employed, and only 28% are government employee, and the least is 3% are farmers. Well, it is the reality because in Manado City there are less farmers than other regions in the region. And the proportion of respondents ever used by the digester or similar technology, only 5% have ever used this kind of technology. So 90% of the respondents are new to this kind of technology. And then how often they use the biodigester? Several days a week, 52% answers because not every day they can use the biodigesters. The type of organic waste materials for biodigesters, normally they use household waste, as can be depicted by the pie charts. There are 84% of respondents using it. And then the question of is biogas productions for daily household use is enough? And vast majority says that it's not enough. Maybe that's the reason they are not using it on a daily basis, because the production of the biogas is not enough. And about main benefits of biodigester, 37% respondent says that to reduce waste generation. Well, it is the case, and that is the goal, to reduce, the initial goal is to reduce waste generation. And then the energy side is only 38%. They can reduce the use of LPG or liquid petroleum gas, because in Manado we use LPG a lot. For fossil fuel based energy is LPG. And then what are the obstacles when operating biodigester? Many of them said lack of raw materials. Maybe that is why they use the tools not on a daily basis. And 26% says complicated. Some says too busy. And only 8% says that no, it works fine. Again, biodigester contribution to household LPG consumptions. 47% says that this helps by just a little. 18% says that pretty much. And only 31% says a lot. Even 4% says there's no change in our LPG consumptions. Move on to, does the biodigester helps you financially? 67% says yes, of course, but only a little. That means the effectiveness and the normally people will compare with the cost benefit analysis. And when in the financially economically it's not viable, people tend to back down from using that device or program or policy, even policy. And then perception of surrounding neighborhoods. 69% says they supportive to this technology, biodigester, but they don't really understand the benefit. So maybe that's why there is almost zero multiplications. There is almost zero multiplications using this environmental friendly new source of energy. Then but when we asked about the quality of the biodigester, they said, yes, it's very good. The material is very good, nothing wrong with it, but they just don't use it to its maximum potential. And again, that is what is the need to maximize biodigester usage. They said that they need technical assistance. And we asked deeper about that. They said technical assistance doesn't really mean that they need to be more capable in operating this device. Rather, they want the government to keep supporting them on maybe on a weekly basis to keep the device operable. And then we asked about the willingness to use the biodigester for long term. Well, more than half says that no and not sure, which is bad indicators for one project to keep on going, or we should improve, would you recommend others to use biodigesters? 64% says not sure, and well, vast majority says no and not sure. So again, negative feedback. Lesson learned. Yeah, distribute the biodigesters to people who really need them, because maybe the people we are giving out this device for free don't really need them. And then second, we got to provide them with the practical knowledge on how to operate and maintain the device given, because many of them never use this technology, or maybe don't want to involve. We don't know yet about that. And then the last one, to provide incentive and award to those who successfully operate the biodigester for a dedicated time frame. So I think in the policy practices, we need some incentive and disincentive. And for this kind of technology, maybe we can give them some incentive in terms of, I don't know, money wise or coupon wise, everything that they can boost their interest in this new technology. So this year we intend to expand our project to Bunaken Island, which is pretty much on the red cycles there. So we are going to focus there because in the other part of the city is not really working really well as the survey as we've seen before. And then why to Bunaken National Park? There are 4,000 inhabitants there. Main occupations are fishermen and small traders. Even though Bunaken National Marine Park is one of the best marine park in the region, if not in the Asia, but the people are many of them are still live in the in the poor condition. The tourism market is only affected. Yep.
Just a couple minutes left.
Okay, 1 minute. I get the timer here. 1 minute. We will wrap it up really quickly. And these are some information about the islanders that they use electricity from the national electricity company, and all of them are using LPG. LPG that is expensive. Maybe these people need this technology more than other people in the mainland because they don't have difficulties in getting a cheap LPG subsidized, heavily subsidized by the Indonesian government. So thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. As I mentioned at the beginning, we're going to have questions at the end of the second presentation. We'll be able to ask both presenters questions. You can also include them in the chat button. We can refer to them later as well. But that was, I enjoyed seeing how evaluators are at work in Indonesia, so thank you very much. Our next speaker is Ma Dingping. He's a Secretary General of Chongqing Renewable Energy Society and President of the Chongqing Energy Research Society. He has spent a lot of his time in community management, government services, international collaboration, and cooperation with a number of organizations, both within China and outside of China. And he's worked a lot in policies and standards and has consulted a lot as well in science and technology. So without further ado, Ma, why don't you take over? And Nazir, you're going to run his slides. Is that my understanding?
Mr. Ma will try himself. If it doesn't work, then I will take care of it.
Okay, Ma, see if you can share your slides again.
You test once again because as a new office. Can you hear me?
We can see your first slide.
First slide.
We see that. Can you go to just to see if the next slide? Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I'm introduce my society and what's I can think. My society is local based in Chongqing. Chongqing is southwest city of China. So we have more projection for the energy efficiency. Chongqing is an industry city. You can see the manner sizing. Besides it is the production such as a motor and a car and airplanes. Also now has many tourists to Chongqing to visit, such as metro through building, this nice thing. Last 2 years, we have many foreigners for the ASEAN country to visit Chongqing and discuss with more about China experience. Today, I introduced more about energy efficiency in the industry. Because China has different manager, energy manager at different other country. China, Beijing is the capital. China have the more policy and the standard and more. As the local government, more production or the how to experience, how to do So many experience in local government we have. I have worked for the energy efficient for over 20 years. So we have the more projects include the adult as a result here. About here, there's a Chongqing is the industrial city. So energy efficiency industry has the more places. The new topic is a green induction. For green induction, including the green factory and many grid. Chongqing and China, the energy manager are different. Industry is best for the industry for the production. The building is for the other building, such as the leader and the green building as a building. Besides, it also has the transport, such as EV, such as how can use energy efficient vehicle and transport. I also have the special for the public institute, including the university, hospital, big reputation, but also very important in China because it's energy cost by the government, so have the more petition for here. The four ports are different, so today we pay attention for the only industry. About the building, I have the more experience, but I didn't know more time to talk about how about green building and the passive building and how can do the lighting and air condition. I will pay attention for industry because the cost that is here. Sorry, why is the children? This is a map of the how the how can you car industry. The other photo is about the share in the industry and in the public. This photo is for more here. Third, we are talking about how can green manufacturing. We also render the energy efficient tool. They here
I think we lost him.
Yeah, his connection is not so good. Mr. Ma, can you hear us? Hello, Mr. Ma, can you hear us? And if I can share your slides.
yes, maybe have some trouble. Now standard is here, but now manufacturing pay attention for the green manufacture. Green manufacturing including for the green factory and the industry park, supply chain and production. Many manufacturers pay attention for the green factory. This green factory best energy efficiency also have the environment for me. So in the China, we have the more benefit for the green factory and the green supply chain. But the green industry park is a small part because some cities not many industry park. I think is ASEAN country pay attention for the green factory and green supply chain. Because many China factory and go to ASEAN country. So how can do the China green factory and can experience is very useful for the ASEAN country. Suppose I technology, how can do and experience as I think is to do. China is do more production for the production. So China has a experience as knowledge share is very useful. I think is many production and many study you best the China experience we may be quickly. Before 10 years or 20 years, we also study many of experience for the America and Europe. But the last 10 years, we have to do more for here. So for ASEAN country, I suggest to learn more about China experience and best the US and America experience zero together, we will have the more position. We have the best Chongqing have the more experienced. I think the zero and workshop and the zero only one political more time not very need, but more you can go to China find the real project. Last year we have the welcome 7 delegation come from ASEAN country to visit Chongqing and have the some with the social forum, some come from the visit energy park. For the industry park, for the consult, we have more. I think have the exteriors as a basis need to visit China is a good example because only best workshop is not provided. So how can exchange, I think, is very important because for the energy efficient technology and the experience is best the small enterprise, so it's useful. We will have the good relationship with the EEAP. Now is the fellow of EEAP. We every year have the more invite EEAP to here because EEAP have the more ASEAN country students here. So we can best the EEAP, so have the more experience. This year I also have the together apply the more projects in what EEAP student as a doctor and study and start to go work to Chongqing and China. Also, we invite some person go to EEAP. I'm suggest next time if we have time, we can together with EEAP and ASEAN country because EEAP is the first in ASEAN country. Many buildings are donation by America and Japan, so it's a good example. Second, last year I think for the more about what can do, I think is together is for more useful. Together for the energy transform and together the force can use renewable energy. I think China has the more experience and also have the chip for the technology. Also have the experience how for the adult and how can use the energy story and how can do the person for the public. I think it's learn each other is very good. About how can implementation Chongqing development, I think is need more serial and example. Now have the Chongqing that the building and the industries are different. For the industry have the standard for the adult and energy data and standard. This is the best last 10 years we have do the more. But the buildings are different. The building is for the public and for the private are different, but also building for the new and old building are different. The new building is means if there's no special, so it's hard. But Chongqing also have the cooperation with the lead grab more standard gray building. So building for the old building has more experience for the ASEAN country have the competition. But the new building I think are different because China and ASEAN country are different districts. Maybe air conditions similar, but other are different. For public, I think it has more population because I think in the Thailand have the many hospital for the public. I think is not eligible. But how can manage public as a different country have different method? But China is very easy because the public institute, the funding by government, so it's very easy to. But in other country, many public institute not part of use the public, so it's best. I think for the new e-commercial, for the management, maybe have the potential. I think the transport also have the experience for the countryside, maybe have a potential. For the ASEAN country, I have go to many country for the countryside, no power. So transport, how can use the EV motor, EV car to instead the gasoline, so is useful. This is very important for the different country have different. I go last month I want to go to Cambodia, the Laos, we have the more preparation. But many countries no power and the electricity is very high, so use EV is more potential. The last I suggest how can to do is best talk about zero more. I suggest have the visit and online training for the real project have the more good result than only meeting. Secondly, I think is together for the adult, for the example, for the industry, for the building, we together with the China, Israel, the US, together have the group, we have the more petition. Lastly is also we have the get many funding for the Climate Work Foundation and more ASEAN country, Europe Foundation for the transport China prefecture technology to ASEAN country. I also go to the climate change meeting, take more about this is the gift for the ASEAN country, so it's very easy for here. This is my own. I think is part of time to talk more about it. Pay attention for industry is very useful. Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. So again, people who are on the webinar, if you have questions, I guess you can raise your hand or start talking and we'll start. I have questions. Well, maybe I'll start for both presenters. But with brewery, methane, how is the methane being used in Manado City?
You means your question is the methane about industry and building.
Right. How is it being used in the building?
I think is a Chongqing experience, methane for the energy efficient evolution. First, report the data for the government, and here is a report. Big company report the data and production. So now the cost ability of here. But buildings are different. The building is better the new building, but the industry production is very important.
Okay, I'm going to ask brewery a question on methane. The biodigesters are producing methane.
Yes.
Well, how is the methane being used in homes?
Okay, it's very simple, Edward. We use it for cooking, household cooking, because it only lasts for up to 1 hour, maximum 1 hour per day. That's why they cannot use it every day. That is one of the problem. We use it for cooking.
Okay, because one of the activities here, or internationally, is trying to reduce methane because it's such a volatile global warming gas. So how do you make sure the methane doesn't escape?
A good question. So, as we know that methane is combustible, right? So, instead of leaving it to the air, we use it for cooking purposes. So we burn them. Okay, and then secondly, so that it's not escaped to the air, we will install the limestone H2S filter. Yeah.
Okay. So, because it's not 100% burning, but the filter will remove the rest of it. I understand. Okay. Um, and then what do you see for evaluators? It was good to see the different evaluation activities going on. Who's doing the evaluation?
Internally.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you have outside evaluators who help you design questionnaires and analyze the data?
Unfortunately, up to now, not yet. Yeah, because this project is initially is not to tackle about the energy insufficiency in the remote areas, but rather to the waste problems. Yeah. But as time goes, we come to see other possibilities, that is for energy, renewable energy purposes, but it's very little impact up to now. Internally, we can we can conclude, but that only a little impact from this biodigesel, because up to now there are no multiplications as we expected when we initially start this project.
Okay. And Ma, I have a question for you. I was always wondering, how do other cities cooperate or work together on what you're doing in Chongqing? Do they work, or there's every city doing their own thing and they're not working together in China?
I didn't know. You means the Chongqing Chongqing contractor or the share all together with the other city as the other country experience.
Well, mainly
Is right?
cities in China, like Beijing or Shanghai. Do they work with your city, or does Shanghai do their own city stuff? Beijing will do their own city stuff, and you'll do your own city stuff.
I'm just Chongqing have the most pressure. Chongqing is the industry city. Industry city is a different Beijing and Shanghai. Beijing, Shanghai is special for the maybe cost energy for the building and institute. Chongqing industry city. So is experience how can use industry city energy efficiency is very useful. This is the first I suggest. Second, the Chongqing is the best southwest. So is parents. Many is familiar for the ASEAN country, such as Chongqing to Bangkok, only 3 hours as similar go to Chongqing, to the Beijing. So as the Chongqing experience is perfect for the ASEAN country is perfect. Third, Chongqing is the best for the control and is a small China. So petition have the example for the other country. I suggest invite more person to visit Chongqing. We have the short 3-day visit somewhere, maybe give the more experience. I'm suggested. Last year we have the serving delegation. After visit Chongqing, we have the more experience and the more experience topic about this. Before, I think the Beijing, Shanghai, Chongqing, and China will be similar. After, maybe they're different.
Okay.
I'm the expression practical.
Yeah, well, thank you. We're going to end soon, but we do have two questions from the participants. One was from Cecil. Yeah, and this is for Brory about the biodigester project. He was wondering if they have collaborations with community organizations for the use of the biodigester, not just household, but communities. And if there's possibility of expanding your project into Cecil's project, which is Cecil's country, sorry, which is the Philippines, can what you're doing. So two questions, quick, there's even another, but quick questions for you.
Okay.
Neighborhoods and then other countries, what you were doing.
Okay, Cecil. To me, it's very replicable in the Philippines because we have the same climate, we have the same environment, and hopefully the same bacteria that will grow in the biodigester. Because if we use different bacteria, the result will be different. For example, the one in China will not be suitable in Indonesia or the Philippines. And then for the collaboration with other organizations, yes, it is. It is. It is one of our goal, that is to maximize the collaboration with other like non-profit organization and also the university. We have made some collaboration with universities, but still up to now we are the main proponent of this project up to now. So the project is going very slow. To us, it's very slow. We need to accelerate this. Thank you.
Right. And I think you've already responded in the chat group to Stephen's question about neighborhood type of collection system rather than, again, household. So thank you. I think we're almost finished here. Any other questions? We have time for one more. If somebody on the group wants to put it in chat or unmute yourself and ask a question, go ahead. Meanwhile, I want to thank both the presenters and the people who attended the webinars. I know time is, it's hard to get an optimal time for people around the world. I'm in California and people are all over Asia in different places. So I want to thank you for attending, and especially for the presenters. I learned a lot. It's good to, we've gotten areas we don't normally get. We've gotten and at different levels, so it's quite good. And Nazir, I'm going to hand it over to you for your concluding remarks.
Thank you, Ed. Thanks a lot. Thanks to both the presenters for the very insightful discussions. As we shared earlier, I have put the link in the chat box to share your feedback and reviews, and as well as your expectations for the future webinars. You can also reach out to us if you're interested in presenting your own work around energy evaluations. You can use our email ID, and as well as, so you can subscribe to the email list. As Ed shared in the beginning, we are expecting to organize a webinar this year, hopefully in July in Jakarta, focusing on building an evidence-based path to net zero energy transition and global sustainable development. As soon as the dates and the program is finalized, we will share it with you through our website and as well as our LinkedIn page. Also, would like to invite you to follow us on LinkedIn. I have already shared the link. We are also active on Twitter. Our YouTube channel has the webinars and all the sessions from previous conferences. Please take a look, and we will also be sharing this webinar through the YouTube channel. Thank you, everyone. That's all from us. We will come to you with more webinars and other events in the future. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you, Nazir, and thanks again for organizing this.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Welcome.